Richard Stevens, a solitary man of 52, lived alone in a modest Victorian-era home, tucked away on a desolate street in the outskirts of Kansas City. An introvert, Richard loved the quiet and peace, finding solace in his quaint abode. A bibliophile, his home was a wonderland of vintage books, echoing his love for solitude and contemplation. One fateful night, Richard returned from work, fatigued. A blistering storm had enveloped the city, and the roar of thunder was only drowned by the intermittent shrill sound of the city's alarm sirens. Dropping his rain-soaked overcoat, Richard navigated through his darkened hallway, guided by the warm glow of an antique table lamp. As he prepared to retire for the night, he felt an eerie sensation, a feeling of an unfamiliar presence. Shaking off the irrational fear, he eased into his bed, bidding goodnight to the stormy night. As the wind howled outside, the house creaked, whispering secrets of its past. Suddenly, the chilling sound of splintering wood echoed through the eerie silence. A cold dread washed over Richard as the distinct voice of a man, firm and menacing, rang out. "Where are you hiding, homeowner?" Richard's heart pounded in his chest like a drum. Silently, he rolled off his bed, tiptoeing into his walk-in closet. His shaky hands reached out for his phone as he dialed 911. "I'm at 65 Oakwood Lane," he whispered. "There's an intruder in my house." The operator responded with practiced calm. "Stay on the line, sir. We're sending help." As he ended the call, Richard could hear the intruder's footsteps growing louder, like the ticking of a countdown. Panicked, he slipped out of his closet, darting across the corridor into another room. The floorboards groaned under his weight, betraying his location. With bated breath, he hid in another closet, just as the intruder stomped past him, their footsteps echoing the Grim Reaper's march. For Richard, every minute felt like a lifetime. The house, once his sanctuary, had turned into a menacing labyrinth, his life hanging on the thin thread of chance and time. In the midst of this petrifying game of hide-and-seek, the distant wail of sirens grew closer. Relief washed over him, only to be replaced by dread as the intruder's footsteps headed towards his hiding spot. He could hear the man muttering, "Time to end this." Desperate, Richard kicked open the closet door, stunning the intruder. He dashed towards the main door, stumbling over his antique collection, only to find it jammed. With each passing second, his life seemed to slip further from his grasp. The intruder regained his senses, charging towards Richard. Suddenly, a thunderous crash echoed through the house. The front door burst open, a beam of light illuminating the room. Police officers stormed in, their weapons drawn. "Police, drop your weapon!" echoed through the house. Startled, the intruder hesitated, glancing between Richard and the police. Sensing his chance, Richard lunged towards a nearby lamp, hurling it at the intruder. As the man recoiled, the officers seized the opportunity, apprehending him swiftly. Richard collapsed on the floor, the terror of the night draining out of him as he felt the reassuring presence of the officers. He shivered, not from the cold, but from the terrifying ordeal he had just survived. A sense of gratitude washed over him, but his heart couldn't shake off the chilling specter of the night's events. "Are you okay, sir?" one of the officers asked, his voice laced with concern. Richard nodded, swallowing hard, the enormity of the situation sinking in. As they took the intruder away, another officer began to inspect the house. Richard watched in silence, his heart pounding less violently now. The familiar surroundings of his house felt alien, each room, each corner whispering tales of the night's terror. The very walls that had once promised solace were now stained with fear. The police worked quickly, their procedural efficiency a stark contrast to the chaos of the night. Richard answered their questions, providing them with a detailed account. Each word he uttered was a catharsis, his voice steadying with every sentence. The final shock came when the police revealed the intruder's identity: Carl Henderson, a notorious serial killer who had been on the run. His modus operandi was chillingly consistent: break into the houses of solitary individuals, toy with them, and eventually kill them. Richard felt his blood turn to ice. The realization that he had come so close to being another victim was terrifying. Once the police had left, assuring Richard they would be patrolling the area, he was left alone in the echoing silence of his house. He glanced around the disarray, the remnants of his peaceful life now a haunting testament to his survival. The once cherished solitude had transformed into an unsettling loneliness. Richard remained awake, the shadows of the night growing longer, each tick of the clock a painful reminder of the gruesome hide-and-seek he had played. The echoes of the intruder's footsteps still lingered in his ears, and though the danger was gone, the fear was not. The dawn was a welcome sight. The first rays of the sun pierced through the darkness, casting away the remnants of the night. As he opened the windows, the morning light washed over him, promising a new beginning. The story of Richard's horrifying night spread like wildfire through the city. Despite the fear, Richard found himself amidst a wave of community support. He wasn't alone anymore. His ordeal was a gruesome reminder of the vulnerability that came with solitude, but also a testament to the strength of survival. In the days that followed, Richard's home was repaired, the splintered woods replaced, the broken windows fixed. His life was put back together piece by piece, but the scars of that dreadful night remained etched in his memory, a chilling tale of a quiet man and his echoing footsteps. When you subscribe, be sure to hit the notification bell. Click here for more true scary stories.